This is Chris Ball with another Mashpee update. We're here in Mashpee TV today with two friends who've, at least one of them has been here before, and they run the Christ the King Food Pantry. George Gilmore and Frank Fantasia, thank you both for coming today. We're here to talk about the goals, the ongoing needs, the increase that the local, or I should say the nationwide economy has brought upon there being more of a need than ever. So I've invited them both here today to discuss it and see how we as a community can continue to help, because Frank has made a personal guarantee that I personally heard that no one is going to go hungry in Mashpee this year. And I think your year's almost up, Frank. So gentlemen, thank you both for coming, and
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
tell us about the food pantry.
Well, we've experienced a little spike, should we say, since the closure of the government. Nobody knew what to expect. The positive side of it is that we found out that we were really, not intentionally, but we were prepared for this kind of occurrence based on our technology that we've installed at the pantry and the volunteer staff that we had at the pantry. The technology worked flawlessly. We never would have gotten through this thing if we weren't at that level of technology that we've installed there. And of course, the volunteers stepped to the plate because we had to start earlier and we ended later and put more stress on their time, but I didn't hear one complaint,
No.
George, and they just rose to the occasion, and it was significant. The first day of the first week of the shutdown, we had a 30% increase in number of clients in one day. That day, we registered 20 new families, so it was not insignificant. The lines, as you had seen on a couple of occasions, ran around the parking lot and spilled out onto Job's Fishing Road. So we did the volume.
And it wasn't just the pandemic. Our numbers have increased over the past year tremendously. Last year we did about 250,000 pounds of food. This year we're over 350,000 pounds. We serve about 3,200 unique households in the town of Mashpee, and we're doing about 8,500 unique individuals. So our volume of food has gone up over 60% a year. So it's not just the pandemic, but it's been throughout the year we've seen a tremendous increase.
George, when you say pandemic, do you mean
I'm
government
sorry.
shutdown?
Government shutdown, yes, I do. Yes.
Pandemic was a whole
Yeah,
another
it's a
story.
whole different
That was a
one,
whole other
yeah.
story.
A whole different deal.
I mean, you speak of percentages. I like to speak numbers. I mean, what did you average per Wednesday? You do it every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, how many families were
So-
you averaging before the pandemic / government shutdown?
Okay. Before the government shut down, we were starting to pick up even at that point, but we were doing between, averaging about 100, maybe 110 a week. And now with the government shutdown, we actually topped 150, I believe.
168 was our
168.
biggest week.
So we've kind of leveled off. We generally were 130, 135 now, quite consistently. So, that's a big increase from the 100 we were doing before.
See, the increase is concerning because we're restricted. Our biggest partner in this whole thing is the Greater Boston Food Bank. And we're limited to 6,000 pounds of food a week from the Greater Boston Food Bank. And my concern, George's concern also, was that if we stayed at the level of 160, that we did 160, 162, then another week 168, that we weren't going to have enough food. And we did reach out to the community, and in all honesty, the response has been humbling, that we've taken in a lot of food donations, we've taken a lot of financial donations, we've taken in an enormous amount of supermarket gift card donations, which allowed us to put us in a position where if we had to go out, if we started to run out of food, we had the resources, the financial resources to buy food. Even if we had to buy it at retail, we could be able to do that. Luckily, we didn't have to do that.
We did a couple, once or twice, but our deal with the Greater Boston Food Bank it's a tremendous relationship that we've had with them for years. We start our order with the Boston Food Bank on a Thursday, and we have to close it out on Sunday, which puts us a little bit behind the 8 ball because we have Saturday and Sunday as part of our ordering days, and oftentimes new items don't come on the market, if you will, or available at Greater Boston. So we have to be pretty diligent in our orders. Sometimes we have to go out and buy eggs, buy milk, and we pay retail for that. So we do have to supplement occasionally, but as Frank said, we're limited to 6,000 pounds a week, and as long as our numbers stay around 130, we can handle that.
Yeah.
We can
Do you anticipate them staying at like 130?
I think so. Trends over the past couple of years have shown that after the holidays, we tend to get a fewer number, and then around Easter time, we start going up again. So I think our numbers are gonna level off, and I anticipate 130s.
Which would still be 30% more than last year?
That's correct. Yep.
And you're still going to stay at the 6,000 pounds of food from the Boston?
Yeah, the reason the 6,000 pounds is that Boston sends a tractor trailer down to Falmouth Service Center every Tuesday with our order, Martha's Vineyard's order, and Falmouth's order. So they're limited to 40,000 pounds on that truck, or maybe even slightly less than that. So we've been limited to our 6,000 pounds. I believe Falmouth gets 12,000, and I'm not exactly sure what the Vineyard gets. But if we have in the past, if we found ourselves running shy on food, we can send our truck to Boston and pick up food there. But it's difficult because our truck doesn't meet their height requirements, so we have to hand load everything. So we try to stay away from that as much as we can, if at all possible.
So it's more of a logistic thing than a financial?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're fortunate to be in that position, I think, because it's, fortunately, the financial part of it has been very sustainable. I mean, it's,
The community is,
I'm amazed.
yeah, the community and our parishioners in particular,
Yeah.
we put out a request for gift cards, and I think this Thanksgiving, we gave out a little over $11,500 worth of gift cards to supplement, along with a frozen turkey. I think we gave out about 240 turkeys, and again, a little over $11,500 worth of gift cards.
Wow.
Yeah, and we still will, we're going to continue to do that at Christmas time, as long as we have the gift cards available. So
I mean, it's been shocking. People they walk in with, George and I are there almost a little bit every day.
Every day.
But on Wednesdays, people just walk in and hand us an envelope and turn around. We didn't even dialogue with one guy. He handed us an envelope. It had $1,000 worth of supermarket gift cards in it.
Wow.
I had to search to find out the guy's name, but I said thank you, and he turned around and was gone before I could engage him. But those kinds of stories, we've been experiencing that. As you well know, the town, through the rec department and the Fill a Van project, that's really caught on in the town between departments. I mean, there's a lot of competition.
Oh, yeah.
going on, right?
I'm there firsthand.
And I want to thank you for providing the MTV's van as part of the transportation. The first year, we got one van full. I know that they do something with the service center in Falmouth too. The first year we got one van full. I think the second year we got 2 or 3 van fulls, and yours was one of them this year. Like your
Chock
van.
full.
Yeah.
But they also added the tribal food pantry to their collection this
Oh, I
year.
didn't know that.
So they were doing you folks,
Yeah,
the tribe,
yeah,
and the service center.
right,
And I mean, I was stacking the stuff in those vans.
yeah. Yeah, they were full to the brim, I'll say.
There was not much room. I
No,
mean,
it wasn't.
The other thing that really paid off,
I said to them, maybe we should change this to fill a truck.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
The other thing that, it's not a surprise because this happens year after year, is the fire department at the Rotary this year ended up, we leave our box truck down at the Rotary and they just load food donations into it. We got, what, 5 or 6 pallets?
We got 5 full pallets.
Of food
food.
donations out of that endeavor, you know?
Well, the whole,
And just a quick shout out to Captain Stanley because
Yeah,
I
right.
was just gonna say,
she is
Unbelievable.
amazing.
they all pitch in, but Nicole Stanley,
She's there for the duration of the whole thing, morning to night, you know?
And when so we offloaded our truck yesterday, again, the 5 full pallets of food. We brought it all into the pantry area. We had a number of people there, volunteers, to help put it all away. And Nicole was there the whole morning with us,
Yep.
so
She li-
she's amazing.
she just lives to do that, it seems. I mean,
Yeah.
she's always cranked up and ready to go.
But that, if you walked into, we got a delivery this morning, but if you walked into our storage area, our warehouse area, my concerns about not having enough food were dissipated because, you know, we're stocked to
We're
the brim
stocked-
right now.
we're
and,
stocked to the gills.
Which is a good
great.
position to be in, you know?
Which, that brings up another subject is, you've had an ongoing building
Yes.
project going, because you're so limited on space.
Right.
Absolutely.
How's that going?
That's moving along. We've got the footings and the foundation were poured. We're waiting to backfill now. And that will, for the first time in the history of the 35-year history of the pantry, give us dedicated space for the pantry so that we won't have to be setting up and breaking down as much as we do now. And we can just, there's a lot of moving pieces to set up for the pantry. And with tables and movable shelving and that sort of thing. But we have dedicated space, and once we do that, it'll make it much easier on our volunteer staff.
All the way around. I mean, and we also get very generous donations from our local grocery stores. So we have volunteers that pick up every day from each grocery store, and generally, they'll have a shopping cart or 2 full of items. And right now, they have to bring them into the hall, and they just leave the carts, and we have to separate them later. In the future, we're gonna have a dedicated door for them to come through and bring it right into the pantry area. And then, at the end of the day on Wednesdays, we lock the doors and we go home. There's no breaking things down and all that, so it's gonna
That'd be great. Well, I know you've put it in a truck dock. I've seen that.
Yes.
And you
yeah.
have a pallet jack now.
All right.
We have a pallet jack. We have added to the walk-in freezer that we added 2 years ago, now have a walk-in refrigerator. Before we got that walk-in refrigerator, we had about 60 cubic feet of refrigeration. Now we have over 500. So it's amazing what we can do. It gives us the ability to, if milk is available and we can get a lot of milk, we'll buy milk, because we can keep the milk now, for a period of time.
Well, you also got a refrigerated truck with a lift gate, right? No-
Well, it's
Not
not refrigerated,
refrigerated,
but
no.
it does have a lift gate.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
that's very helpful.
No, the loading dock and the pallet jack have transformed the operation. It used to take us, 35, 40 minutes to unload the truck on a Tuesday morning. We got that thing unloaded with the merchandise or the inventory inside the building in about 15 minutes now.
Well, I think what people also have to realize is, what's the average age of your volunteer?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the older demographics.
That's
certainly is.
So, making it easier certainly makes it safer also.
It makes it safer. That was always been my
Always.
big concern, is, it's an older volunteer staff, and we were, as you know, Chris, because you witnessed it on a number of occasions, we were breaking down pallets on the truck and handing down one box at a time to somebody down below. We had 2 or 3 guys in the truck, and it always made me nervous. And finally, we've set that risk aside, and it's been wonderful. It's like a new.
Right, but so, I know that we're going in phases on this. So where are we in the phases of this building?
Well, right now, the foundation is poured, the footings are poured, the foundation is poured, we got to backfill, then we'll pour a slab for it, and we should be coming up out of the ground. I really like it to move a lot faster, but I'm an impatient guy, but getting construction work done is, it's not easy these days.
Especially this time of year.
That's correct. That's correct. And one of the things that's going to have to happen here, and I was always had this in the back of my mind, where we're pushing out the building, we're going to have to take that whole side of the building down. So it's going to create, exposure.
A draft.
A little bit. And now it appears that we're going to be facing that in the dead of winter. And, there's always workarounds you can do for stuff like that. But, it would have been a lot easier if we did it in the nice spring weather, the nice fall weather we had this fall. But it is what it is. And as George said, if we're in June, I think that would be.
How about financially for the building project? Where are you on that?
That's totally funded, and that was a requirement of the diocese that they wouldn't let us break ground until we had the project totally funded or pledged. And I'm pleased to report that it is totally funded, so we don't have to worry about that. Of course, this is before, if you've been, I know George has been involved in the construction business a long time. There's always going to be change orders and things like this. So we've even built in a cushion there to absorb any unforeseen change orders or things like that.
And once again, this was the community coming up to bat.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. One of the things we're always asked, and I want to make this absolutely clear, this is totally a volunteer effort. Nobody gets paid. Nobody gets paid, number one. Number two, it's non-denominational. I think it's important to say that because we're using the church facility, and one of the questions that some of our major donors ask is it restricted? We don't ask that question of anybody. That's not in our vetting process. It's open to everybody that from the communities that we serve can come in and get food.
But it's my understanding also that basically you try to stick to our community and the surrounding area, but you don't turn anybody away. You may redirect them to something closer to them.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, we
Like
don't turn anybody away. Anybody that needs food is going to get food.
Now, when they come, and our basic area is Mashpee, Cotuit, and Marston's Mills, but the majority of our clients are from Mashpee, I would say.
Yes, they are.
And if they come and they're out of that territory, they're going to go away that day with food. But we have a list of all the food pantries on the Cape. It will say, it might be more convenient for you to go to Falmouth or go to Harwich or something like that. But nobody gets turned away.
Right. So we get through this year and Frank's off the hook on his guarantee.
No.
But, you know, what happens from now, when did you, from now to Easter? When it does slow down, but, and let's face it, a lot of our people go south for the winter. Certainly not the people in the food pantry, but a lot of people go south. What happens to your donations there? And
Well,
how does it affect you?
that remains pretty, that remains pretty, I don't want to convey that there's a large spike, you know, like, you know, we go from an average of 120, 125 down to like 60, and we're not doing that. I mean, there's a slight fluctuation, and it's not radical. So during the course of the year, the cash flow from donations is pretty well,
It's
pretty steady.
pretty steady.
Pretty steady. And the food, the inventory control is pretty steady too. And that's another piece of technology that we've installed over the last year or
Yeah.
so. We have a pretty sophisticated inventory control system. This is highly unusual, I found out, for food pantries. So I can,
bet.
I can tell you that where we stand, George can tell you
Yeah.
on his phone where we stand right now for inventory. Not only what's in inventory, but how fast it turns, how long it's been in inventory. So that combined with the technology we've installed on the front end of the system, it's pretty sophisticated. I mean, we go through an annual inspection, if you will, by the, excuse me, by the Greater Boston Food Bank, and they're pretty impressed with.
Oh, she said to me as she was leaving this year, she said, this is one of the best run pantries I visit, so it's nice to hear.
That's great.
And
Great job, guys.
They service over 100
Oh, all over,
food
yeah,
pantries, yeah. So,
So ongoing, you anticipate that the financial donations, even in these tough times, will remain the same.
yep,
Yes.
yeah.
So,
You know, one of the issues that, now that we're on that subject though, I was always concerned by trying to do a capital campaign and maintain the operating funds, because a lot of people don't differentiate. You know, if they're gonna give a donation to the food pantry, you know, now I'm saying, well, you know, you can do it in two ways. You can give it to the operating costs of the pantry, or you can give it to the capital campaign. And I don't wanna discourage, you know, either one, but we're past that now, because we got the capital campaign, the building is funded. All we gotta do is finish the construction, and it appears to me, at least, that the level of operating donations is continuing. Again, this is a result. One of the things that's come out of this that's been, I gave a lot of thought to, is the awareness that this government shutdown brought to this whole food insecurity situation, okay?
SNAP, et cetera.
It's
Yes.
marginally higher than when we entered this shutdown, okay? A lot of our own parishioners didn't know the extent to which we are involved in the pantry, or how much the pantry does in the community. But between the national media, local media, we've had tremendous cooperation from the enterprise, the Mashpee enterprise. I mean, we've been front page material for
couple-
A few times.
4 times, right. So the awareness level has increased. Now that's been reflected in two things. One is donations. We all want donations. The other is, people come to me quite often now and say, what can I do?
Yeah.
So we've had a number of new volunteers. They show up on a Wednesday and they say, gee, you know, I read about you in the paper, and,
That's right.
and you know, they live in town, and you know, we show them around and they're amazed at how much volume we're pushing through there, and they stay and they volunteer.
We had a group that came just to visit. We showed them around. There was 4 or 5 of them. This was 3 months ago. Showed them around the pantry. 3 of them are out now. volunteers,
Yeah.
and they're very active,
Yeah.
so.
Good.
Yeah. They were brought in by one of our major donors. And it was always, it's a group of guys that go out for coffee in the morning, hang out together. And I think he actually brought them in as kind of a joke to, show them what he was funding. And three of them stuck.
Stay.
They never went home. Right.
Well,
And they've been great volunteers.
So the message is that you're doing more, even when we get past the holidays, the government's back up and running. For how long, we don't know.
Who knows? Right?
But still, there's an increase there in the
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially,
30%.
we're up 30%.
Yeah.
That you need to continue getting the support that you do now, if not more. And many hands make lighter work.
Yes.
So the more volunteers.
Well, it's important to remember our mission, I know people cringe when I say that, our mission is to eliminate food insecurity in the community. That's a pretty strong statement. And I use the word eliminate on purpose. I didn't make that up either, because if you look at the Greater Boston Food Bank's website, that's their mission
That's their
statement.
mission too.
And first time I read that, I said, eliminate. I mean, how do you do that? But, if you work together, as you said, and the community comes together, we can do that. That's why I wasn't afraid to make that guarantee, Chris.
All right, well, this is all great stuff, and, you, the parish, all your volunteers, everybody, deserve a great deal of thanks ongoing for all the years you've done it, all the years we'll continue to do it, I assume.
Well,
And,
God willing,
Yeah.
it's-
But, we definitely couldn't do it without the community support too.
no.
And
So,
community's been wonderful.
the message is, you're there, but, it's
Keep it
continued
coming.
effort, continued support, and you'll do the great job you've always done.
Yeah. I mean, we owe a lot of thanks to the people in the parish, the people in the community, public officials. We've had a couple of public officials heeded my invitation at the select board meeting to come and look around. A couple of them stuck. We got a couple of them that are volunteered.
volunteers.
Great.
And the support from the town fathers has been excellent and encouraging. I mean, they've been very encouraging. George came in once with me. I was in another time on my own, and it's humbling, to be honest with you. It really is. I mean, it's what neighbors helping neighbors is in our logo. Okay, that's what it's all about, and we're experiencing that live and in person with what George and I do every week. I mean, it's
All right, well, we're about coming to the end of our time.
Yep.
Anything you'd like to say in closing that you haven't said already?
No, just I think, once again, I'd just like to thank the community at large, because without the community at large, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. And also, needless to say, all of our wonderful, generous parishioners that help us both financially and support and volunteering.
Yeah. The only thing that, not much I can add to that. My feelings are the same. But I invite everybody who wants to come by and, not just to make a donation, but just to get a feel for what we do, because, you fly by on 151 and you look over and you see a lot of cars. You really don't get an appreciation for the mechanics or the logistics behind this whole thing. And we're proud of it. I'm proud of it,
Do you have a dedicated website?
We do not.
You do not?
We're working on that.
Okay. Somebody wants to make a donation,
Christ the King Food Pantry.
Yep.
Yep.
They can,
and they can send it right to the,
Right to the church, yeah.
right.
Or drop it in the mail slot in the office door, yep.
all right, great. Well, thank you both very much for coming today. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Chris.
it. We
Our
appreciate
pleasure.
everything you do. And
And by the way, thank you for all you do.
Yeah.
You're part of the media group that has been behind us all the way, and I didn't know whether you were going to get filmed or you were delivering product when you drove up with the rec department with your van. But thank you very much.
Oh, you
for
got
doing
both.
it. Yeah,
You
right.
got a twofer. It was a double tap.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, once again, thank you both.
Thanks, Chris.
This is Chris Ball from Mashpee TV, wrapping up another Mashpee update. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.